What is up, guys? This is MaxCo4, and today I'm actually be going over one of my fans requested guides. Now, this could be how to counter mid-war vehicles from Germany. Now, this will be specified a little bit closer to multiplayer, but they'll also tell you how to counter these vehicles when you come to the conquest as well. So, the vehicles we're going to be talking about mainly is the Panzer IV F1, Panzer IV F2 and G, Stug 3F, the Panther D, the Tiger H, and the I'm just gonna call this the German KV1. We also have the flak wagon on the back, so that's also to be of concern. So big thing about these vehicles. So first one, the Panzer IV F1. Nothing super special about it. It only has a range of 170. The cool thing about that it does have though is it's got heat rounds, which heat rounds make it very lethal to enemy tanks. Its normal rounds aren't going to be super dangerous to the Soviet and American tanks, but eventually its heat rounds can get through like 80 millimeters of armor, which is pretty good. Next we have the Panzer IVs, F2, and then the G, and then the Fs. All right, this one only has 50 and 50 for its front armor. The F2 has essentially exactly the same. Only difference is instead of 170, this thing has 200 range. All four of these vehicles have 200 range, and they're going to be able to get the same amount of armor. They're going to pretty much be able to penetrate anything that's KV1 and below. As you can see, it's going to be able to get to the KV2's front turret, KV1's turret, T-34 all around, which is going to be a huge problem in mid-war when all you have is T-34s as your main tanks. So Panzer IV F2 is the pretty much the best tank that the Germans can buy on their side in multiplayer. But the just for regular manpower versus this Soviets can buy the T-34 model 1942, which is where is it at? Yeah, right over here, T-34 1942, which has better armor, but a worse gun. So these guys are gonna be able to penetrate T-34s at range 200, 200, 200. So these are the ones you gotta worry about. We're gonna talk about how to fight them once we go through all the Allied weapons. So the first thing we're going to go through is we got the heavy AA guns. We got the 90mm for the US, 85 for the Soviets. We got the 3-inch gun, which is 76mm for the US, and then the 57mm is this 2, which is a freaking beast. Then we have the M10 tank destroyer. We have the Su-152, Su-100, KV-1 1941, KV-2 1940, T-34 57, and T-34 1942. Now for the Soviets, the best thing you're really going to be able to buy in multiplayer in mid-war is the good old 1942. Now the 1942 version is not that great, but it does have good armor. It has 100 front armor that's sloped and 53 turret armor, which isn't great, but it is better than the Germans' Panzer IV's counterparts. As you can see, they have an assessment of vehicles, and then the Americans are stuck kind of with the M10 as their heaviest tank destroyer that can take out. It has good turret armor and decent hull armor, so it's not overall not terribly protected, but also not the best. So first off, if you're fighting with the model 1942 or your KV1s, just know that you're gonna be outranged by the Germans by about 10 meters. So you're gonna be careful with your shots. You're gonna have to creep in, get to 190. Once you're at 190, you shouldn't have any problems. Now, as you can see, you're actually gonna have the advantage over the Panzer IV F1. So as long as you stay at range with this guy, you can be able to get the different armor. As you can see, that was a good penetrating shot, and did manage to kill, I believe. I don't think it killed the crew, but let's hop over and see how much damage we did. Now, as you can see, that the hull is pretty damaged, and we've also damaged the engine a little bit. That's why it's smoking a little bit there. So you can do quite a bit of damage with just these tanks, but you just gotta maintain that range because that heat round's gonna be able to get through you pretty easy. So Panzer IV F1 isn't really that big of a threat because you're gonna be able to take them out pretty easily. Now the Panzer IV F2 is pretty much the same thing. Only thing you have to do is you have to get a little closer because as you can see, they're gonna outrange you by 10 meters, which is gonna be problematic. So you just have to be trying to pop in and kind of playing peekaboo with them. But if you can get a penetrating shot on their front flat pieces of their armor, it's going to do some serious damage like that one just did. Now, the one thing to note about fighting the Panzer IV F2 versus the G has 80mm on the hull. Same turret, so just engage that turret first if you're aiming it from the front. versus all these other tanks. The Stug is pretty much the same thing. It's got 50 and 50, so it's not going to be a problem. As you can see, we did quite a bit of little damage to this tank. Looks like we managed to destroy the transmission a little bit and damage the hull quite a bit. Still operational, but the crew's definitely going to be shocked. Versus Panthers, Tigers, and this KV-1, you're going to struggle a bit more. Only thing to note from this tank destroyer is the flak wagon that has a range of 210, which is going to be scary because your best, your T-34s are 190, so it's got 20 meters range extra than you have. So that's one thing to be of note. Now, so T-34s, and for the Americans, let's go over to the M10. M10 is going to be pretty much the same thing. Only difference is it has a parity with the Panzer IVs. As you can see, it has a parity in range. I can engage them and destroy them pretty much from that exact range. So it's more about who gets the first shot with the M10. M10's an excellent vehicle. Just be aware, it's not the quickest vehicle. So just know what you're doing when you're using this tank. So the M10 is also in the same boat as the T-34s. It's not going to really be able to engage these Panthers or these Tigers up front very effectively. Yeah, I can get a rare shot if you get a shot on the gun, but as you can see, most of the time it's not going to be able to do shit versus these tanks. So the good news is there are methods to do with to take these out. Now, for the Americans, the only really way that you can take out these heavies is not going to be with your 76. As you can see, the 76, but best it can do is throw a track or hope to destroy the gun, which was a lucky shot. So you're going to have to, as you can see, it's going to be very, very lucky shot to be able to take those out. We damaged the hull. Damaged the track, and we're still going to do some more damage. But this anti-tank gun that the Americans have, the 3 inches, the biggest anti-tank gun, is the same gun that the M10 uses, so are pretty much the same gun. So you're not going to have much luck with that. However, in the defensive doctrine, you do have the 90mm anti-aircraft gun, and as you can see, this fat boy can penetrate hella armor. You're going to be able to get through the turrets of the KV-1 German, the Tiger one, and for the main hull, and then for the Panther, the lower glacis or the turrets, both weak points. For its lower glacis is great place to get through. Not sure if we actually got through on that shot. We'll see. Looks like it managed to ricochet and damage the tracks, so that's good. But you can't get through it with the 9mm, and the 9mm does have 210 range, so it's going to be able to have equal range of the Panther, because the Panther is going to have 210 range as well. But this is with the Tiger, the KV-1 only has 200 range. So you are going to be outrange as Americans, but you're going to have to fight kind of from the flanks, unless you're using this gun, which is not most practical to use on the front versus tanks. You're going to have to use some flanks, which I'll talk about later. As for the Soviets, they do have some excellent weapons. They have the 85mm anti-aircraft cannon, which is going to be more than a match for the Stugs, Panzer IVs, and has a range of 200. Going to be able to take out these tanks with no problem. However, as you move on to the heavier tanks, such as the Panther, Tiger, and the KV-1, that's where you'll see that it'll struggle quite a bit. Now, you can get some lucky shots on the gun and whatnot on the Panther, but that's pretty much all you can do. Now for this Z2, it's in a similar boat. It's just a smaller gun with a little bit better penetration for its faster round. While it does have good penetration versus these tanks like the like it's gonna be able to get to the Stug, you're gonna struggle versus the same thing like the Panther, the Tiger, and the KV-1s. They're your best bet for these. Try to detrack them. If you can't detrack them, then you best pull them back a little bit with those guys. Next thing we have up is the T-34-57. This is just a 57mm gun in this, but that 57mm does have a range of 200, so this gun actually gives you parity with the Panzer IVs. So this is a call-in as well for one of the doctrines. And I do love the T-34-57. I think it's irregular, I believe, but it gives you parity, and you can make those tanks burning very quickly. T-34-57 reloads pretty quickly too, so you can just shoot and shoot back. So difference is these guys have to be like 10 meters forward, and the T-34-57 is going to be back a little ways, firing away. KV-1s, the advantage you have with them is they have better armor, so even some of the Tiger is going to struggle with shots to take out the KV-1, but the KV-1 is going to struggle itself taking out the Panzer IVs unless it gets a turret shot. It's not the most accurate either. As you can see, shot flying over, but if you can get closer, about 180, 170, then you're going to be able to do some serious damage to those Panzer IVs. Just know that the KV-1 is slower, and it's outranged by quite a bit. KV-2, however, now this bad boy has a range of about 200, I believe, but this thing doesn't, or excuse me, 180, much shorter range than I thought. But this thing is a beast. It has HE, but as long as you can hit your HE shot, which hopefully we will on the Stug. Now, as you can see, this is completely immobilized Stug. Let's go over and look at this Stug. Now, the Stug is still alive technically, but the hull is pretty much broken. The left track is broken. Right track's damaged. Pretty much everything on this tank is damaged, and it's the power of a 152 millimeter cannon firing at you, which is exactly what just happened. And that's gonna do some serious damage. So you can get close enough. You can even take out Tigers with this one. Now this one's gonna be a very big target. Obviously, the Stug can penetrate the turret, so it's a very you have to be very cautious with the KV-2, but it's a very effective nuke wagon. Next we have the SU-152, which works very effective as well. Has a range of 200, so you're effectively gonna be able to be on par with the Panzer IVs and this KV-1 tank. Now it's the very same thing as you saw before. This KV-1 is still working, but now you can see I just blew up his gun. Both his tracks have got tracked, and his hull is damaged. Another round would probably take him out. So the SU-152 is an answer, also doctrinal, but is an answer that you can take out pretty much everything with. Now, last but not least, we're going to go into the SU-100. SU-100 is controversial because it's not known if it's actually used. A lot of people say it wasn't, but it does have a range of 220, which makes it pretty sick. Its armor is somewhat weak, only 85. But as you can see, it can very easily penetrate Tiger. We just knocked out his turret right there. Now this tank is going to be able to do some serious damage, knocking out Tiger's turret completely right there. And it looks like yep, it killed the crew too, so that's very effective. Now this thing is rocking like 130 millimeter, I believe. Let's check out real quick. Yeah, it's got 130 millimeter, and this thing is not joking around. It has a range of 220, so you're actually gonna be able to outrange and outgun the German tank. So that's another cool little feature. That's, if you don't know about the SU-100, it is a beast in mid-war. It is probably the best. It's got the best range, I think, of any tank in mid-war, and it's going to come out on top for most tank engagements. Now, if it does get hit, it will go down, so this is the one you can have the advantage as the Soviets. The Americans are going to struggle a little bit, but we're going to show you how to battle. All right, so going through with the T-34, what I like to do is, if I'm battling a Panzer IV over here, I got a Panzer IV hiding on this hill, we're going to make him move forward just a little bit. Let me just pull them up just a little bit there. Let's say he's hiding on that hill over there, and we just want to take him out. So you want to use terrain like this in order to get close enough, because this, as you can see, this little berm is hiding us. And then what you like to do is wait till they're firing HE, or wait till their turret's firing at a different target. Then try to move in as close as possible. You gotta get to 190, as you can see. 190 is what you gotta get to. And you're going to have to take a couple shots because at range, your T-34 optics are not the best, and they're going to miss quite a bit. So you probably have to get 2 or 3 shots before you can get a nice hit. Now let's see if we did any damage on that one. Looks like we did a little bit of hull damage. But usually by this time, you're going to want to back out, because at this point, the Panzer IV is probably going to spot you, and obviously you can still deflect shots, but it takes one good hit before he gets you. And as you can see, we're presenting a large amount of our body here. But you kind of keep playing peekaboo with them until you can get that shot off, because once you can get a shot off, and it actually lands, then you can take out that Panzer IV, and it's gonna be voila. You can have a sacrificial armor car to help you out if you can't seem to make that shot, but you do want to make sure you get on the flank, or make sure you're using HE versus infantry, whatnot. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you. I just got blown up a gun. But one thing I like to use, like as the Americans, okay, for instance, as we saw, the Americans don't really have anything besides the AA gun that can penetrate the Panther or Tiger frontally. So what I like to do, get a little distraction. 50 cal's shred infantry, so maybe I send a 50 cal car to be a distraction. We'll set the Panthers up there trying to shoot away at him. If I had the Panther, I'm gonna be trying to take out this pesky armor or pesky car as soon as possible. Probably shoots through the building a couple times. Meanwhile, on maps like this, you can use your terrain just like you did earlier to your advantage. So as you can see, there's like a little berm down here, like by the river, on the sand. So what I can do is sneak a tank around here, make sure you have infantry coverage to try to help you out. Then sneak up over here. You need to get on the flank. You gotta be careful because you're only gonna have a limited time before the Panther is actually gonna spot you. So what you want to do is get that flank shot as soon as possible. As you can see, we've got to sneak around here. He's still engaging that. Get the first shot off, make it count. Now let's see. Did we actually even do any damage to the Panther? Panther took up some body armor, body shots. It's probably going to be looking around. Odds are, though, you'll probably be able to get a second shot off before it can do anything. So I'm going to aim a little lower, see if I can't kick off some of the So at this point, it might try to face you, but all it takes is one lucky shot for you to be knock that Panther out of the war. And if you can get him down for the count with a good shot on the side of the turret or a shot somewhere else, then you can usually move in and take him out with something else. Or, as you can see, you can take out the Panther, which is very, very good. But basically, as Americans, you gotta kind of flank. As the Soviets get like peekaboo until you can get your heavies, and then if you have the SU-100Y or the SU-152, you're pretty much going to be able to take out these guys. SU-152 is going to have to be careful because that 10-meter range that the Tigers and Panther has an advantage on it, but the SU-100 is going to be able to obliterate them. Alright, hopefully these tips and tricks help you destroy the German tanks. If you guys are looking for more tips and tricks, make sure you guys ask below and leave a like and subscribe. The likes definitely help, and subscribing definitely helps me know that you guys want to see more videos. And goodbye.